working. Let me. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello. Hello. I don't know how you are getting audio. I don't know how you are getting audio. Ah, my camera. Turning this on. Check, check, 1, 2. Turning this on. Check, check, 1, 2. That's turned up pretty high, so. Check, 1, 2. That's turned up pretty high, so. Check, 1, 2. That's turned up pretty high, so. Check, 1, 2. You could hear the hum. That's turned up pretty high, so. Check, 1, 2. You could hear the hum. It's looping because I have desktop audio is also being pushed through, so because I'm watching my own stream. Video capture device? I don't need that. Alright. Interesting. How do can I up my stream bit per second during? Okay, cool. let's find a background photo. Okay, let me change that setting to 128. Okay. Excuse me. All right. The audio stream's current bit rate 0 is lower than the recommended bit rate. We recommend that you use an audio bit rate of 128. All right, let's learn what that is. And I will ask another question. Okay. Okay. Oh. I was like, I don't recognize that name. Wow. #1 fan. #1 or top fans. Yeah, I'm just trying to learn how to get things working. So I've like already like looked at the streaming setup through YouTube, and it's giving me recommendations on like, oh, up the bit rate. And I'm like, okay, let me go to OBS and I'll up the bit rate. No, I don't need to call. You can just message. I'm just trying to figure out how to do the setup. So I'm going to work on a background right now. Should I do an overlay or should I just... I don't imagine I'm going to need an overlay like all the time, so I'm just going to go for like a background image. Let's see. Yes, I am using OBS. But I'm like deciding. I had the option to do it through YouTube, but I was like, I don't think YouTube's gonna be as friendly with putting my face. Like, I have the other scene ready where, like I do this, and so my face will be in the corner. But I want to come up with just a background border for like the black bars on either side of here. So let's look up cool D&D. Images. I'm just gonna look up official D&D art. Maybe I think that'll be fine. I like that one. Save image as. I will put that in pictures. Yeah, I'll just do that. That's fine. Oh, man. Sorry, it's going to be quiet a lot just because I'm preparing a lot of stuff. The idea to put like art on either side of me is to find art that actually doesn't look bad like vertically, like in that area. Because if I just like do a beholder, you'll see like just a quarter of its face. But I think I found some pretty good. Let's see. No, I don't want to replace that. I will make this as D&D border 1. Let's find some different art now. I need a second piece. You'd want a scene as opposed to a regular still image. You mean like create another scene that's just of an image? Or... Okay, I won't. That one might be cool too. I think that's the new Monster Manual art. Okay. Thank you for the hearts. There we go. Is this the equivalent of emotes, or are they just stickers? Nice. Okay. D&D order 2. I can get more later. All right, let's see how to import these into the scene. I just want an image. I'll do an image. Order 1. I need to find the image. Pictures. Oh well, I've got a lot of pictures. We'll do this on the left. Nice. Okay, and I will bring this forward. Move up. Oh. Let me see if I can decrease the size of my thing. Configure video, camera controls, pans out. I don't see any like crop. Maybe I could just crop regularly. Nope. If I hold shift. Oh. That's interesting. I'm sorry. The art was done by Billy Christian. normal. How can I decrease the borders? Or crop it? Oh, can I just, is it a resize? Nope. There's got to be a button I can press. C? No. Nope. Alt? Oh, it's the Alt button. There we go. Okay, let's do. Is this my sitting position? I think so. So if I'm gonna line this up, there should be a button that just centers it, huh? Thanks. Transform. Fit to screen? No. Stretch to screen. Center to screen. Yes. Oh, there we go. Now it's centered. All right, I like that. Let me get the other image in now. Image. Border 2. Yas. Okay. I'm going to put that. Well, I'll move this guy in front. Order, move up. Not bad. There we go. Wait. Right now my camera's flipped, so every time I move to the right, my whole face moves to the left. I gotta get used to that. Or I could flip it. Maybe I could flip that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh. Wrong way. Flip. Horizontal. There we go. Oh, that's much better. Wow. Okay. Now, how do you change the name of your the name of the stream that's going on? Let's get this. I don't need these anymore. Is that on YouTube? Automatically generate vertical cropped version. No. What does it even say the name of this live is? Can I just look it up and see? Your channel. Live. The Fourth Chair live stream. Okay, so that's what it's called. Let's go to settings, maybe. Appearance? No. Stream. Output? No. Audio, video. Hotkeys. Advanced? No. Properties. No source selected, that's fine. I don't know where I would change that. Oh, it is in YouTube. The fourth chair live stream. I'll do learning. The fourth chair learning. L-E learning Obsidian. Tell viewers more about your stream. Hello. I am streaming the entirety of making a D&D campaign from the ground up. And now I am learning the basics of Obsidian so that I can utilize a better note-taking system for my next campaign. AIG. Okay, streaming software? No. Notices? No. Public people and vlog? No. This is sports, travel, events, news, politics, gaming? No. Entertainment? No. Education? I guess? No, it wouldn't be. Okay, I guess it's people on blogs. Cool. Thumbnail? No, I don't care. Playlist? No. No, not made for kids. Paid promotion? No. AI use? Not yet. Automatic chapters? What? Featured places? Allow automatic places. Automatic concepts? Add tags? There we go. Okay. Dungeons and Dragons. D&D. First stream. Obsidian. Learning Obsidian. Oh, come on. There's got to be so many tags I can use. I'll put D-N-D. I'll put campaign. Campaign. Prep. Campaign. So how do you spell campaign? Please tell me I've been spelling it right. Yes, it is. I don't know. Faerun. Source books. Monster manual. Players handbook. Note taking database cookie, custom cookie. Planning, campaign planning. Help. Fourth chair questions. Yep, that looks good. Languages. Yep, English. This content has never aired on television in the US. What? Oh, no. Title and description language. English. Recording date and location. No. Standard YouTube license. Allow embedding. Comments. Moderation basic. Who can comment? Anyone. Sort by top. Sort by newest. Save. Okay. It's 30 minutes. The stream is starting. Yeah, I think we're good. I will keep this tab open, I guess, just in the corner. Oh, I wanted to work on audio. I don't know what my audio sounds like. Oh, I have a little bit of a hum in the background. Volume lock? No. Filters. Compressor, gain, input polarity, limiter. Not a limiter. Noise suppression. That's fine. Okay, let's see if that changes anything. I don't know exactly what I did. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Trying to get that hum in the background gone. Oh. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello? Ah, I got rid of it. Okay, okay. I'm gonna toggle it on and off so you can tell what I'm talking about. If you so yeah, let me yeah, I'll just get rid of it. So this is me getting rid of it, and so you'll hear the hum. It's like very faint, but it's enough for me to be annoyed. Then, so there's filters that you could put in on OBS. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Which means I'll probably turn up my gain on the mic itself. Ooh. Hello? Check, check, 1, 2. Let's see if that's louder. That's louder and clearer to me. There's a little bit of a wait that I have to do in order to hear myself on the actual stream. So, like, there's a few, like, birds chirping that are coming out every so often. That's fine. And you'll probably hear my typing, too. I'm just going to type for a second. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, I'm going to stop listening to myself. Okay. Yeah. Now I position myself higher in my setup. I am going to start to learn about this note-taking application called OBS. No, not OBS, sorry. Obsidian. Okay. How do you do this? Okay. If I'm like looking through the recording of this, this is where I'm actually going to start, and I'm just going to have it be, I just have it be a blank scene. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to let that sit for a second. And then I'll go back to scene 1. And that's when I'll know that, like, oh, this is the part. Oops. Wrong scene. There we go. Wow, welcome to the 4th chair. This is my first stream. And the purpose of this channel is purely to... I saw that there was an empty spot to be filled in the YouTube space, which is to show what a Dungeons and Dragons campaign looks like being created from the ground up. So, I don't know exactly how this is all going to go, but starting today, I am going to be streaming hopefully once a week and at most probably twice a week, documenting my process of making the next Dungeons and Dragons campaign for me and my friends. I have no idea. I have a few ideas of that I want to do, but like location wise, I just know that I want to do it in the Dungeons and Dragons universe in the same world that I have been playing in, by our version of Faerun. So that is the like bare bones ideas that I have. I have been playing with 3 players for about 3 years now, and we are looking to expand the table. And I feel like my abilities as a dungeon master has increased since I first started DMing, especially with even like last night's session that I played, that had like the biggest reveal that I've done in any campaign, and for it to go pretty smoothly, or it didn't get revealed in the way that I thought it was going to be revealed, but it was still really cool the way that the players were able to learn and figure it out. Caught me off guard, but with that, I'm just like, you know what? Okay, I'm pretty confident with my abilities as a dungeon master to take care of all of this, and I think I know that the next campaign that I do is going to be different, but it's going to be more of like a traditional. The one that we've been playing is like a political thriller slash it takes place in a city, and you get to know the NPCs and whatnot in that place. So I'm looking at doing like an adventure, actual like adventure. And so again, that's like the bare bones ideas that I have for it. And it's going to be a challenge learning how to play with more players and more plots and more stories that are going on. And I basically, inspiration for all of this is I started I I was sat down to write the next campaign, and I was like, you know what, I need to figure out a new note-taking method in order to write this next campaign. Because I have been like across three different applications using notes. I have used my Evernote note-taking thing that syncs to my phone and other devices, but it's pretty limited on what it can do, like writing wise. I have used Canva for a lot of the visuals and images, and I've also used like Google Notes or Google Documents in order to share things with players. It's like having all of these notes strewn about across three different applications is not the best thing for me. So, um, again, just documenting my entire process, I was thinking like, you know what? I need to just pick a new system that can be cohesive, and it's just one application to turn to all of my note-taking needs and visuals and resources for players as well. So the very beginning of this journey has nothing to do with writing the campaign yet. All it has to do with is learning how to use an application so that I could better prepare for the next campaign. So today I am looking at learning how to use Obsidian. Out of all of the videos that I've watched that explain that there are good, they're like, the best note-taking applications to use, Obsidian seems to be like the biggest and best one, cost-wise and ability-wise. So I started watching this one video that the guy was like explaining what Obsidian can do. I'm going to rewatch that and hopefully get more of an understanding of where I'm going to go about learning. So, and yeah, this is going to be like the most sluggish thing ever because we're just watching YouTube together. So this is this guy's channel. I have a whole playlist of stuff that I've assembled. Let's see. Here we go. Obsidian tutorial. So I collected a bunch of videos to watch about the platform and what I need to do. And I'm just going to get started learning how to use it. So, but this app looks absolutely insane. So, here we go. Hopefully you guys can hear it too.
Welcome to 2024. Today we're going to start off this year with a bang. We're going to jump into a Welcome to Obsidian for TTRPGs video. We're going to showcase the tool, show you what's changed, and give you an idea of what's possible.
Yeah.
If you're new to this tool, then this is the video you want to start with. And then from there you can expand your knowledge and horizons, and you can make amazing notes for your, whether it's behind the screen as a dungeon master, or maybe you're even a player, but this is a fantastic tool for taking notes and improving your TTRPG games. Or maybe you're a world builder and you want something to document your world. This is a fantastic solution. So let's jump in and let's have a look. Okay,
Ready.
So what is Obsidian.md? All right, it is basically a notepad text application. Right, let's be honest, it's just for taking notes. At the simplest level, it's a very simple application. All right, but it has all of this cool stuff, like the ability to link between your notes, the ability to visualize your notes with graphs, the ability to lay your notes out in a Canvas style. All right, there's community plugins, and trust me, you're going to want to know about those.
All three of those things that he just mentioned that you could do with it are things that I've like wished I could do. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to have to like look through my notes in order to find this character. If I mention the character in a certain note, I wish I could just click on the character and it pulls up a little blurb of what that character is or what they are, their personality. And that's exactly what it does. It does hyperlinking. you could visualize how everything's connected. And I literally have like in Canva, separate from all of my other notes, just Canva, like a big grid with a bunch of like pictures of people and items and places and locations that are all connected and how they're connected. And it's just like I have to manually import each one of them and I have to refer to my other notes in order to do it. So this is like already way better.
The ability to lay your notes out in a Canvas style. All right, there's community plugins, and trust me, you're going to want to know about those. There's a ability to sync. This is a paid subscription service, I will say that, but there's methods to sync without the paid option as well. You know, you might just use Google Drive or OneDrive. And the ability to publish your notes as a website. So if you're into TTRPGs, or maybe you're a world builder and you want to make some notes available for other people, you can do that through Obsidian Publish. Again, there's alternative options that don't cost a subscription fee for that. But the core application is completely free for you to use. You can come here to obsidian.md and you can download that straight away. All right, you can see it works on Windows. And if we jump in here, it also works on iOS, Android, Mac, and Linux as well. So all of your prime platforms are covered. So you might as well jump in and start downloading that. All right, and let's show you what this tool can do. All right, so in front of me, I have a brand new vault. You can see on the left here, I can create folders. Inside of those folders, I can create notes. And then from those notes, I can actually start to link to my notes. All right, you can see I can now click and go to my welcome note, or I can go here and I can do a link back to my note. And over here on the right, you can see the graph view is already picked up the fact that I've created that link there. All right, it's just a notepad, all right, but it's marked down. And what that means is I can make titles, I can write text, all right, I can make some of that text bold if I want to. I just press Control B. If I want to make something italics, I can do Control I. All right, and obviously if I want to do a link, I can do my square brackets and I can just link between notes. I should probably turn my caps lock off. But I can just link between, all right, and obviously if I want to do a link, I can do my square brackets and I can just link between notes. I should probably turn my caps lock off. But at the base,
All you have to do is just put brackets on it and it automatically hyperlinks to whatever note you typed out, the title of the note. It'll hyperlink to that.
base level, that's Obsidian, right? That's what it does. But let me show you what it can do. Okay, boom. Welcome to Obsidian for TTRPGs. This is obsidian.md with a few slight modifications, just small ones. All right, I have turned this into a campaign management vault, all right, and I can help you learn how to do the same thing if you're keen on learning how to use this tool. Let's jump in and have a quick look at what it can do. This is my homepage. Every time I click a plus button, it opens up this page and I can see all of the big primary links that I use in my campaign. I've got some lists of my characters, recently created or modified NPCs, recently modified locations, recently modified notes, and I've got a tracking here of all my session journals so I can quickly go through and find the notes for a session, you know, and what occurred. And you know, some of my notes are better than others, as you can see. I'm picking up some real winners, but you know, you can do what you like with it. Let's jump in and let's have a look into a map. This is a map. Look at that. We can zoom, we can go in and out.
I am going to change the title.
Notice that I've got different zoom levels for different icons, and I can come in here to those icons. I can hover and I can see the notes that are linked. In this case here, check this out. I can actually see the travel days in between different locations. I've got it configured so that I can do that. Check this out though. If I go here and go party configuration, we can actually come here and say, well, we're actually going to ride a saber-toothed tiger. And if we go back to our note, it actually automatically updates to show me how long it's going to take my party to travel on a saber-toothed tiger. Like, how cool is that? All right, that's maps. We can link those two things. I like to use this. It's called Excalidraw. This is basically a visualization tool. All right, it lets me map out really easily what's happening in my world, and I can keep track of all the things. I've got these nodes all over the place. They're linked to notes. I find this super useful for like graphing out my brain. It's just a nice way to lay my ideas out, and I like that I can lay them out however I like and keep track of my campaign, you know, where all the bad guys are, who they are, what they're doing, what they're wearing, where they are. It's very, very helpful. All right, let's go back. Here's the module. I put all my modules in this tool. You can see here that we've got a module, and to be completely frank, I was using dark view because the video title was dark, but you know, let's just swap that. Let's jump over to appearance and change that to light view. Oh, that's a bit of a shock to the system. It's a bit better for my eyes. As you can see here, I have a full-blown adventure copied into this tool, and I like that because it means I can make changes to the notes and I can add whatever I like. All right, let's have a look at stat blocks. Do we have stat blocks? Of course we do. You can see down here, not only do we have stat blocks, but we have stat blocks that are linked, all right, to all of the rules and spells that would be basically used inside. If you're playing Pathfinder 2nd edition, or you're looking to play...
Okay, so last night I was playing D&D, and it was supposed to be a pretty big fight. And the creatures that I was using had a lot of abilities and like effects that were constant that I needed to keep track of, as well as like what the players were doing as well. And I kept seeing like I had to basically copy and paste the stat blocks that I found and put them into another note so I could see them on the same page as something else. But it's like I keep like wanting to click on the all the bolded like conditions that you could be under, like frightened or incapacitated or something, and or charmed, and it's just like I just want to refresh to make sure I know what that ability does, and I kept needing to look somewhere else in order to find what that really meant. And then I also needed to like figure out what's the difference between the old roles and the current roles, and it just kept going to the wrong places. The fact that like I could just be in my notes and all of that information, not only the stat blocks are in my notes, but I just hover over certain hyperlinked words and it just gives me the description of what it is. This is amazing. This sounds like it would be incredibly difficult to just build from the ground up myself. And I'm crossing my fingers that there's something like already pre-built that I could import into my own notes, and then I could start building my campaign from all of the notes that exist, like with all the information of the world and monsters and whatnot.
Pathfinder
We'll
2nd
see.
edition. This is absolutely fantastic because what it means when you're learning that game is that all of those rules that everyone's afraid of, right, they're all linked straight here. All right, very,
Yep,
very
even the
easy for us
spells.
to
I'm
do.
like, what does that spell do?
That's a 3-minute import
I have
process.
to type it in and I
All right,
spell
well,
it
let's
wrong.
kick off some combat. We got this button here. Boom. We now have a party. Initiative's being rolled. It's all in order on the right-hand side. I can click that stat block and I can see that on the right. How?
But I don't have to do like little cards. I put cards on the top of my DM screen in order to keep track of the initiative order. But instead, you could just have all of the players and all of the monsters in your own thing, and it's not revealed to everybody like, oh, they're going next. Or oh, there's a creature in between. That's
Easy
great.
is that. If I want to apply some damage, I can just say that guy took 20 health. There we go. If we want to apply a status effect, maybe they've been charmed.
Amazing.
All right, we now have this really good tracking of how that's going, and if they die, you know, we could remove them. All right. There's also, though, if you've got a second screen, a player view, so you can actually have that visible for your players, so they can see who's next in the initiative.
Oh my gosh. So I could move this to another screen so that the players can see. And I'm thinking, oh, it's going to see the health of all of the monsters. But no, it just says healthy, healthy, healthy for the monsters. The players won't know what. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Order.
Or and the statuses. It tells you all the statuses they have on them. So like you can keep me accountable.
Right. And, for those of you going, I want to roll dice, well, that's easy. You can actually just come in here and go, this guy rolled a 1. Is that the right one?
Given it with anything that like is new, it's going to take a while to get used to the new system. It's like getting a new piece of like hardware for the house that like although isn't super necessary, it like can make things easier. You have to actively like go out of your way to use it so that you get into the habit of using it. It's like I could see myself quickly falling into my old ways of like trying to write stuff on paper and realize no. I need to learn how to use the app. It's gonna be a lot different preparing versus like using this application in real time. I feel like I'm pretty slow on taking notes, and there's pauses in between role playing moments that I'm like, oh, I'm being pulled out of it a little bit because I really am going to forget to write this if I don't write it down now. But man, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, this guy rolled a 1. No, I'm putting it back. There we go. I've got all monsters set to go at the same initial level, so it's not letting me do that. All right, so we got combat. We've got linking between notes. I've even got it set up so that every time I link to certain types of notes, I can actually have little icons on them. All right, so I can see that this is a spell. I can see that there's a monster linked here. It's nice and easy for my eyes, so it draws out those changes. I find that quite beneficial when I'm playing a game. But I find, as you can see here, like this makes running monsters a lot easier.
Yes.
Like a lot easier. I can't use stat blocks out of the monster manuals anymore. That's just not going to happen. All right, we've got character sheets. If I actually jump in here, grab Aria, check this out. We have D&D Beyond live syncing into this tool. If you're playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you can do the same thing with Hero Lab Online, or you can do it with Demiplane.
That name, he said Aria. I'm pretty sure that's Araya. What is Aria? Aria. Yeah.
And you can see
that's how you spell
the latest
Araya
of your character sheets in this tool directly without you having to do any extra effort for that to happen. For those of you who want to keep track of more data, though, you can see here I am keeping some stuff up in the properties of a note. Properties is a place where you can store variables and values about a note. In this case here, I'm getting the HP and the AC, for example. And the cool thing about this is when they're added to initiative over here, it's pulling that information from over there into that initiative tracker, which makes life so much easier.
Oh, I see.
So we got combat management.
Okay, all right. Just explain this real quick. There is hyperlink functionality or like embedding actual website information into here, and you could take you can link it to a Dungeons and Dragons or D&D Beyond character, and it will take the information from the character sheet and automatically update it into the character's note. And whenever that character is put into a combat, all of the information that you need is transcribed into the note so that it can be read by the separate note that keeps track of initiative and AC and hit points. That's crazy.
Initiative tracker, which makes life so much easier. All right, so we've got combat management, stat block support, we've got links, we've got all this sort of stuff going on. Let's come through, let's have a look. Can we make templates? Yes, we absolutely can. Check this out. All right, so here on the left, I can drag in any notes I want to make things, tools, useful things that I'm going to use. So here I have my DM board with a list of my players showing all my player AC and their passive perception, which is obviously useful. I get a unique list of all the languages that are known by my party. All right, that's unique, so I know, if they're speaking to someone, what they know. But in terms of actually coming here and having a look at my templates, let's see what we can do. Well, let's build a new location. Press a button. All right, we can see the location comes up, and this is Fred's town. That's now Fred's town. We've got a template that's been applied to this note automatically, and it's even put that note in the right folder according to where I want all of my settlements to actually go. All right, you can see I've got a fairly complex template here, to be completely honest. You don't need to go this advanced if you don't want. And you know, it's relatively easy to use. If I want to grab a picture, let's say,
that advanced.
that's actually a link. Can we grab a picture? Grab a picture that I want to put in my note. We can come down here and we can just paste it. There we go. That's how easy it is. I've got lots of plugins going on here, but I can resize my image if I want. All right. All right, what else have I got in my buttons here? Well, I've got some more information for my players, right? I like to keep track of their HP, their modifiers, their wisdom, right? All of that sort of stuff is visible to me. Here I've got my DM screen. Now this is my vertical DM screen. You can see that I've actually got some information here for keeping track of different effects. But if I want to expand my abilities out or my conditions, right, I have those there. Now don't forget as well that when I'm using this stuff, usually it's linked in my notes already, all right, because I can actually come over here to a note, check this out, and I can just type, the orc is flanked, what's flanking the goblin boss. All right, I've got automatic linking set up using the various complements plugin that's automatically linking through to the notes that are associated with those words that I'm typing, and that is incredibly useful for typing your notes efficiently.
Yes.
All right, you don't have to stop and think about this sort of thing. Now you can insert templates into any of your notes. So like what I commonly do is go insert, let's go call out box. This is a trap. All right, so we got call out boxes, insert monster. We can come in here and type in a monster and we get a stat block. All right, how easy is that, guys? It is so simple to use. It does take a little bit of setting up, I'm not going to lie, right? You don't just jump straight into this, but I do have a Patreon vault. So if anyone would actually like to jump into this tool, I do have another vault available through my Patreon that basically gives you a foundation of sort of all the plugins that are pre-configured for you to use. So you can come in here and you can basically have a look and see how I've done things. You can take a copy of this and use it as a foundation for you to add your notes into. You can change the way it looks, you can change your templates, right? And you might just want to use this as a foundation starting point for you. Here's a good example of another way to do a DM screen. This is using the Kanban plugin. All right, you can see you can actually have these, and when this is working, this has all of the notes linked here as well. And obviously you can add your own notes to this thing. All right, we also have, for those, don't get angry at me, I'm sorry, AI support. So let's go, please create, oh, actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in. Let's generate a fantasy inn. Don't use AI, people. It's actually not that fast. All right, here we go. The inn has completed. We have a name, we have a description, we have an innkeeper, we have a menu, we have some meals, we have some patrons, we have some rumors. Now check this out. Let's go Control I, and I want to make an image. It should create us a picture of Madame Seraphina Blackfeather. What is she? She's got long raven black hair and piercing emerald eyes that seem to see right through you. Oh, here we go. We have the first version of her. She looks a little bit witchy, if I'm honest. I wonder what the next one's going to be. So it's creating two images. All right, there we go. We have an image that spits straight out from the AI tool. All right, and now we can use that. We can keep going on with your day. If you don't like to use AI, of course, you don't need to use it. This is all third party and optional, and you can add in whatever you want or not add in whatever you want. You could just go to Google and copy other art, or you could pay someone and just paste it into the tool. Completely up to you. All right, so we've got that. Now let's jump into a pretty popular feature of Obsidian. I don't personally use this, and you're about to see why. It can be quite slow, but this is Graph View. All right, and Graph View is a way to visualize your thinking. Basically, it takes all of your notes, and wherever you have connected your notes together, all right, it shows you a connection. Now I have too many notes, way too many notes. And I've been created these all manually, by the way. This tool is very easy to import data with. Like, you can do bulk imports very fast. It takes me like 2 minutes to add 15,000 notes to my vault. All right, it's not a stretch. We have tools for doing that. Here we go. This is my vault. This is all the links between my vault. And if we come in here, we can see all of the notes and all of the links to all of the other notes between those. Some people find this really useful, mainly the world builders. I don't find the TTRPG guys getting too excited about it. I don't get too excited about it because, like, look at it. It's a cancerous growth, if I'm completely honest, that I don't have a lot of control over. But it is fun to look at. Yeah, it's fun to look at. All right, now this tool also has PDF support, just so you know you could drag your PDFs and store them in your vault. And what that would effectively allow you to do is open up that vault and have a look at a PDF. You can link to certain pages of your PDF. That's all very easy to do. But I thought it's worth showing you guys what a vault is. All right, you hear us talking about it, and this is a really powerful feature of Obsidian. It's just folders. All right, if we have a look back here, you see my folder structure here. And if we open this up here, you will see it's almost exactly the same. DM screen, scratch notes. Inside of my scratch notes, I have my AI test. Inside of my scratch notes, I have my AI test. It's just folders and text files. All right. I've got some test notes here, as you can see. It's just text. All right, but Obsidian.md is an application that sits over the top that makes those text files look pretty. Here's my columns test though, my note. All right, you can see, nope, not that one. We've got a columns test here. We've got this. All right, if we come down here, we can see this is the properties of the note. Anything between these is considered properties, and it's word for word. Note icon, settlement, note icon, settlement. That's all it is, guys. And that is incredibly powerful because it means you can store your notes anywhere using any method that you normally would. Say you want to sync your notes to your mobile phone. You could just store your vault on something like Google Drive or GitHub is what I use, or you might use maybe a networked folder over your internal network. I do that as well. There's lots of options to sort of host your vault. But there's also the ability, if you want, and this is a paid service particularly, right, is to publish your vault. So I can publish my vault, all right, I can publish those notes through to a website, and then we can jump over to that website here, we can jump in here, and this is what a published site looks like. Now, this is my website, guys. If your appetite has just been whet with what I've shown you now, and you want to learn this tool, all right, this is the site I recommend because it's my site, let's be completely honest. But ObsidianTTRPGtutorials.com, I've got everything in here for you to learn how to use this tool. All right, you can come here from getting started, go through everything to learn how to create notes and folders and set your vault up basically. And then once you're done with that, jump into plugin tutorials and you can go through and find the functionality that you're interested in. All right, because there's things that I haven't shown you here in this video because there's not enough time, but you know, fantasy custom calendars or timelines, for example. Now, if you're watching this video and you've come from trying this tool before and you're going, you know what, there's some things I didn't like the ability to create tables. Well, I just do want to do a call out that now this is how we create tables. All right, look how easy that is. We can add columns, all right, and we can cut and paste, all right. It used to be challenging, all right, just to show you what that looks like in Markdown. Yeah, that's the challenging version. We don't have to do that anymore. We now have fantastic support for tables. All right, we also have the ability, and actually I think I've got a test here, to have canvas. All right, this is a canvas. This is built into the tool, and effectively what you can do is you can drag notes into here. All right, drag them around. You can join them up. All right, you can label your joins. All right, this is a very useful tool. I use another version of it. Actually, I showed at the start of the video. I use one called Excalidraw, but this is certainly an option. This has been a pretty big improvement in 2024. They're trying to make this tool easier to use, and if you check the roadmap, all right, you can see what they're working on next. And what is dynamic views? Create dynamic tables using data stored in note properties. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like data view. Is data view coming to Obsidian natively? Are they going to grandfather the original data view and replace it with some official support? That would be absolutely fantastic. But I guess it's a watch this space and we will find out later in 2024. All right, anyway, I'm starting to lose my breath. I don't think that there's probably too much more that I need to show you. The tool is cool. I recommend you use it. Oh, I really should show you MetaBind. Yeah, let's show you MetaBind. MetaBind is this new plugin that lets you have import fields in your notes. All right, check this out. Right, I can have buttons. How cool is that? All right, that's MetaBind. Imagine what you can do, guys. People are trying to make player character sheets and calculators and trackers. Like here's a DC calculator, for example. All right, if you're playing Pathfinder, you can literally come in here. I got a ready mode. We can change this to common. All right, we can set the CR level. All right, and tells you what the recall knowledge DC is. Like that's cool. Complex crafting calculator for the PF2E guys. Like there's all sorts of cool stuff here. If you're playing in 5th edition, then we have the jump calculator is an option. All right, if your strength is 18, then this is your jump options. Or the party configuration is an example of what we can do, right? Where we can have the drop-down options for party travel methods and all this sort of stuff. You know, do you have horseshoes of speed? And it will basically modify that. And then you can come down here and say, all right, I want to order a transport service through a relatively safe area. It's not a familiar route. We've got 4 parties in the group and we want to have a poor lifestyle while we do it. So, you know, it's 2.4 gold per person. All right, there are some really cool things that you can do with Obsidian.md. Now, that's deep end of the rabbit hole. All right, I'm not going to lie to you. Some of this stuff is pretty advanced. Don't jump into this stuff straight away. As I said before, what I recommend you do is you come here to Obsidian TTRPG tutorials and you come through Get Started and then you move on to plugin tutorials. All right, while you're there, come through to Community and Support. And here's where you can find where the rest of the community is hiding. All right, so the most active place to find help and support for Obsidian as a TTRPG or world builder, our community hides in this Discord server. So jump in here. There's an Obsidian official Discord server as well with way more people in there, but they're covering all sorts of different categories of usage like education, note-taking, science, bookworks, all that sort of stuff. There is a Facebook group. Not as active as our Facebook used to be, it's dying out. And of course, if you would like to support me by Patreon, there is a link here for that as well. Just a reminder that if you would like access to my TTRPG Vault, which is like the Foundation Vault, which basically has all these bits and pieces built for you and ready for you to use, all right, you can support me by Patreon and you get access to this straight away. But outside of that, guys, This is a really excellent community of users. All right, they're supporting each other. They're making plugins. If someone comes along and has an idea, we can actually create that idea, all right, ourselves, and we can do some fantastic things. Very, very, very amazing community. I love them to death. They're so active and helpful with all the new users. So jump in here, especially to the community Discord. Engage with that community and ask for help if you need it. All right, because we can help you learn this tool in a very efficient way. There's lots of really cool.
All right. I am going to jump to his website to see what is new, because that was posted, what, 2024? Which 2024 was the year the new rules came out. So I'm sure there's a little bit of tweaking that needs to be done for your monster stat blocks and whatnot. So I will look for yeah. Um let's see. Who am I? I wonder if he has an explanation. Let's look at his Patreon too. What is he asking for? Join for free, sure. Membership options. Official patron. This tier is primarily a way to say thanks and give me encouragement to keep making more videos. I make all my tutorial content available for free. And as I don't wish to lock anyone out from tutorial content with a paywall, I do put a lot of effort into supporting the community and creating new tutorials. And this is the best way for people to say thanks. Patrons do get special access to my Obsidian TTRPG vault. This is a foundation vault that you can download and use to help you get started. It includes plugins, themes, folder structures, notes, templates, etc. A great way for new users to get started, or perhaps you just want to see how I piece all the things together. Okay. Super supporter. I want to say larger thanks. So that is all the same. All right. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was shaking the camera this whole time. Um, okay. Let's look at his. Maybe we can look at his Facebook, or sorry, YouTube community. Does he have a community? I guess there's. Is there a community tab anymore on this stuff? I don't know if there is. What are these? March of this year. Okay. Long have I dreaded the post from the Mac OS crowd going, I can't get the CLI to work. Please help. Because I do not Mac. The last Apple PC I owned was an Apple ICC. Or IIC. The world has changed. Vibe coding is now a thing, and ideas can now become software. Thus, now have a UI for the TTRPG converted CLI tool that will work on other operating systems. Yes, I know AI is evil, but it also made this about 5 hours. Made this in about 5 hours. This is going to be useful for some awesome. So far, much easier than the previous way. But how do we tell it where Git is? I keep getting Git not found error. Okay, not exactly answering my question, but all good. I think I'm gonna watch his second video just to make sure I understand.
I love them.
That was the intro video, so I'm gonna watch Obsidian Patreon Vault 2024.
Welcome to Obsidian TTRPGtutorials.com. Let's learn how to use the tool. Alright, g'day guys, and welcome back today to another Obsidian video. Today we're going to make a video for the Patreon specifically. We're going to dive into the Patreon Vault that is provided to all of my members. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, all of my tutorial content is available for free for anyone to use, but I do have a Patreon because people kept asking me for a way to say thank you. Over the years that sort of matured into something, and we now have a Patreon Vault available for people, and it's basically a foundational vault. Now if you'd like to get your hands on this vault, what you can do is jump over to my Patreon. It's just Jay Plunkett, and you can see here that for the price of less than a coffee a month, you can come in here and basically get your Patreon membership up to date, and then from there what you can do is you get access to the Patreon Vault. Alright, so here is the Patreon Vault, and the links to this all get messaged to you automatically when you join up. And there's links to the Patreon Vault so that you can download it, so that you can get started, and you can jump straight into using this tool yourself. Now, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through the process of downloading this Vault, showing you how to use it, and giving you a bit of a tour on what it can do. and then talking a little bit to how we might use it in the future to get your own games up and running. All right, so I've already downloaded it. It's in here, and if I go inside this, you can see that this zip file, you can see that I've got a folder. All right, and this is the folder that contains my vault. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that somewhere, and I'm going to put it into my Obsidian folder, and I'm basically going to drag this vault folder over into wherever I want to put it. All right, I can put this folder anywhere. All right, so we have the folder. I'm going to rename it now to whatever I want. Call it My New Vault, and then inside of that you can see all of the folders that are going to make up our vault structure. All right. From there, what we're actually going to do is we're going to jump back over to Obsidian. All right. If you don't have this window available yourself, you can come into an existing vault and click the Open Another Vault down here. And what that will do is open this window. And then from there, we can go Open Folder as Vault. If anyone shares a vault with you, like this is how you open it. Click Open. And if we actually come in here and we have a look at the folder, we can see My New Vault. We select it and we click Select Folder. That will open up the new Obsidian Vault, and we need to click this button that says Trust Author and Enable Plugins. This comes with all of the plugins already enabled for you. All right, here we go. It has basically now loaded that vault. All right, we're going to get rid of all that. It's loaded that vault up. And from here, it's basically turned everything on. You can see that it's got themes installed. All right, it's got plugins installed, and it's kind of ready for us to set up. All right, so let's jump in and see how we update this vault. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do when I download this vault is actually come down here to Settings, and we're going to come to Community Plugins, and we're going to check for updates. Now, if you're new to Obsidian, this is something we do fairly regularly. All right, I tend to do this once a day when I'm sitting down in front of Obsidian. Like if I'm going to sit down for the night, I'm going to update my plugins first. Keeping in mind that plugins are developed by the community. All right, so they're always getting updated. There are plugins that get updated almost every day, and it's always a good idea to go through and check that your plugins have been updated. And you can see up in here on the right that everything is updating. All right, and then once it's done, it'll pop up and say all of your plugins have now been successfully updated. So do that. You know, the first thing you should do with this vault is do that, because basically the plugins will be updated to the point where I last saved this and made it available for you all. So it's always an opportunity for you to come in and check that. Now, while that is happening in the background, another place we need to actually update is under Appearance. Looks like we're almost there. I'm going to go check for updates. It's got one update. All right, I've got the ITS theme installed. All right, the ITS theme is designed specifically for the TTRPG crowd. It's got some TTRPG themes built into it, so that's why we use it. All right, we've now updated the theme. We've now updated all of the plugins. I will generally come up here to General and check for updates as well, just to see if there's a new version of Obsidian available. I'm an insider member, which means I've paid to get access to the beta versions. So sometimes I get updates in here that you guys might not get, and I'll need to be careful about not making sure you get copies of those. All right, so outside of that, we now have the plugins updated, the appearance updated, and we've checked the version has been updated. If we scroll down here, we can see these are the plugins that I've got installed for you. All right, you can go through and have a look at that. But
watching
the first
more
thing you may want to do is come down here to Style
import
Settings,
all this stuff.
expand out the ITS theme settings, all right, and expand out the alternate color schemes. Now I've got it on blue here, and the reason I've got it in blue is because I have a different theme for all of my vaults, and I wanted a way to differentiate it. But you can come through here and you can change these around, pick one potentially that you like. You can see there's a number of generic ones here that are designed to give you a different look and feel. But here under the TTRPG category is the ones people are probably looking for.
Getting tired too.
You've got Slurly D's D&D theme.
It's only
all right,
11
got some
a.m.
nice fonts going on. The Wizards of the Coast Beyond, which most people will see in my videos from other times. Sorry, someone.
I'm going to go back to his other video and
This
see.
straight away.
there is any comments pertaining to 5.5 rules. Okay, there is one. It is it has found 5.5 is the amount of million views that a video has gotten featuring Brennan Lee Mulligan. Okay, not really important. Okay. I think I can go forward with using this guy's setup. And if I do that, I need to, man, I just don't want to be stuck on the, I would like to be using the new rule sets, the new, what should we call it? Folder notes, one vault or many, building notes versus team notes, templates, stress tests, can it handle 20K topics? Excuse me. Okay, this one.
Welcome to Obsidian for Tabletop RPGs. Let's learn how to use the tool. Alright, g'day guys, and welcome back today to another Obsidian adventure. Today we're going to be having another look at Initiative Tracker. It's been a while since we've done a video on Initiative Tracker, but there's actually some functionality that I haven't covered, and I thought we'd dive into that today. That functionality is the Encounter Builder. Not a lot of people probably even know this, but there is actually a full functional encounter builder built into Initiative Tracker. It can be a little hard to find if you don't know where to look, so let's go in and show you how to do that. Okay, so first thing, if you're brand new to Obsidian and this is the first sort of video you're seeing, you kind of need to stop. I want you to go over to Obsidian TTRPG tutorials and to start coming through the tutorial content. But specifically, if you're new to this sort of plugin, what you need to come down here is to the plugin tutorials and come down here to where we see the TTRPG World Builder plugins, and you'll see Initiative Tracker, you'll see Fantasy Stat Blocks. I recommend you start with these sort of...
Oh, Fantasy Stat Blocks. There we go.
Welcome to Obsidian TTR. Is the fact that you can have linked stat block. Reached out and said, hey, this. Welcome to Obsidian TTRPG tutorials.com. Let's learn how to use the tool. G'day guys, and welcome back tonight to another Obsidian video. Tonight we're going to dive into a plugin that we've already looked at previously, but some community members reached out and said, hey, this video is pretty out of date these days. Can we have another look? So let's dive in and have a look at Fantasy Stat Blocks. Now this is a plugin that's been around since Obsidian really started to become popular. It's one of the first TTRPG plugins I think that came out, and you can see here what it does. It's basically for creating stat blocks inside of your notes. You can see here I've got pictures of my monsters, I've got all of the details that the stat blocks should have, but one of the things that I think really makes this stand out from other sort of applications that I've seen stat blocks support is the fact that you can have linked stat blocks. Right, if you've got spells on your stat blocks, those spells can be linked, okay, to the notes that tell you what those spells do, and as you can see, that is amazingly useful for running your games. I use it for pretty much everything. I run all my combat out of here. Here's a more advanced example, and you can see here, this is where we have some spells. All right, and it also has initiative tracking support. Now, that's not part of the Fantasy Stat Blocks plugin. That's actually part of the initiative tracking plugin, but it adds these buttons here, and you can see here that we can add these monsters into combat, it rolls and all that sort of stuff. We're not going to go through that in this video, but what we are going to do is show you how to install the Fantasy Stat Blocks plugin and get started with using it. All right, so let's jump in and have a look. Okay, so we've got the plugin installed, we've got the plugin enabled, we've got the options button available. We're going to go ahead and click that. All right, now it's always good to understand the options of a plugin before you use it, but there are some things that I recommend here. Now, integrate Dice Roller, up to you if you use it. All right, the Dice Roller plugin is additional. You can just install that through the plugin market, and that will support, will provide dice rolling support into this plugin as well. I personally don't use it, but I still have it enabled in case I need to use it. Try to render wiki links. This is one I really do recommend you enable. All right, because what this means is that if you've got like a spell or an ability that's linked inside of your stat block, this is what enables that link to work. So turn that on. Disable 5e SRD. If you're playing 5e, you can leave it enabled. If you're not, you can disable it. Up to you. But here is where we start to get important. So note passing, and you'll see here pass front matter from creatures. What that basically means is it's going to scan your vault, scan all of your notes, and find the ones that have monsters, and it's going to use that to actually feed monsters into the plugin.
Okay.
Now, back in the day, when we first started using this plugin, we used to load monsters into the plugin. All right, if I come down here to import homebrew creatures, you'll see there's a section in here on importing data from some other common tools that you may have heard of. That's what we used to use, and I certainly used to recommend that. And what that does, just so that you're fully aware, and I'll bring open my screen here on the other side, is that basically opens up. No, it doesn't open anything. Sorry, it saves them into this, so into your vault, into the .obsidian folder, all right, which is a hidden folder. You might need to enable hidden folders in order to see that. In plugins, and then if you come down here, you will find Obsidian 5e, there it is, Obsidian 5e stat blocks. Now, when the plugin first came out, it was designed for 5e, right? Jabal played 5e and he made this for his own games. So therefore, the plugin was originally called 5e stat blocks. A lot's changed since then, and the plugin is now very, very system neutral, right? You can use it for pretty much anything you can code into it. But the name hasn't changed. The reason the name hasn't changed is because if he did change the name, he would have to actually get the plugin reassessed by Obsidian and relaunched. Okay, so that's why that hasn't changed. Don't be afraid. But in here, you can see the data.json file. Now, back in the day, we used to come in here to Obsidian and we would load JSON.
Hold on. Is that... So this is a guy who made it. Okay, this is probably the one. Dealing with 5.5e. Please don't be, please don't be. It is still that. Okay. What about 2024? Okay.
JSON files through here, and what that would do is that would save that data into the data.json file in here, and that's where all your monsters would be stored. Now that process does work and it's pretty stable, but I have had some issues in the past where my data.json file has reset. I've lost all my monsters, and so therefore I come along to play my game and none of my links work, my initiative tracker doesn't work, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done, what do I do? And it's just because there was a corruption issue and the data just resets. You can see I've taken copies, all right, so it's always a good idea to take backups of these things. Personally, I also back this data up to GitHub, so that way, if I did lose something, I could just download my latest copy and away I go. So I found ways around this, but what I'm saying is I don't trust this method as much as I trust the note method. All right, and what do I mean by note method? All right, so in here we've got the option to pass front matter for creatures. What it's doing, as I said earlier, is it's scanning those notes, it's finding notes that contain monsters, and then it's just using those to feed the plugin. All right, and what that means is there's no risk of that data.json file getting corrupted and resetting, all right, because it's saved in your notes. It's a much safer way to have it, in my opinion. It does come with some complexities because that you do need time for your monsters to pass and be recognized by the plugin, but ultimately I think it's a lot safer. Now, what I've also done here is I've come in and I've added my bestiary folders. All right, you can just come in here and you can type the name of your folders, starting from the parent level. All right, so 2-mechanics for me. We can have a look over here, actually, just so you can see this. Go up to there. All right, 2-mechanics. And then I've got my monsters in CLI bestiary. All right, so what I do is I come into this plugin and I come in here and I type 2-mechanics. All right, because that's the root folder underneath my parent, /CLI /bestiary. All right, and I add that folder down here. And if I've got any other folders where I'm storing monsters, all right, you'll see I've got the CLI bestiary plus an extra bestiary folder. I tell this plugin where those folders are where I'm storing monsters. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is for efficiency, query efficiency specifically, right? When this tool is checking my vault, scanning my vault, and passing those notes in, it's quicker for it to know exactly where to look than it is for it just to go search the whole vault. Now, you can do whatever you like, but if you do have just the standard dash here like this, what that's saying is scan my whole vault, all right? And that can take quite a bit of time if you've got lots of notes. So I tell it specifically where to look, and that will make your query a lot more efficient when it runs. All right, now if we come down here, we'll see layouts. By default, it comes with a basic 5e layout, but as you can see, there's some other options here. anything with basic in the name has come with the plugin. All right, so you can activate these and you can have a look. Let's just actually open one up, or open up a Pathfinder and show you an alternative, right? We just showed you the Vampire Masquerade as an option is on the other screen, so that's certainly one that you can have a look for. But this is going to be a Pathfinder 2nd edition one. Here we go. Oh, there we go. I don't even have to go and find it. So we've got Pathfinder. Let's just drag this in here, actually. There we go. All right, so you can see Pathfinder's got a pretty different look and feel. It's matching the Pathfinder 2nd edition sort of layout as closely as it can. It's got the action items here, and again, we've got links to all of the spell abilities and stuff going on. So it makes it much easier to learn how to play Pathfinder 2nd edition. If you're a dungeon master looking for a new system, wanting to get away for 5e, like have a look at the system, because Obsidian can make it easier for you to play it. But there you go. There's other, obviously, stat blocks layouts available for you in this tool to use. So select the one that you need. And just know also that if there isn't one here, right, that you like, you can make your own. All right, there's a full layout here. If we click edit, just as an example, you can actually see there's a layout editor, right, where you can drag these things around and you can change where they are. You can add different things to them. You can...
Okay. Okay. I think I need to just jump in. I'm getting tired and I'm thinking, oh, like, I've watched enough, but at this point, I've learned enough that I need to just go into it. So I am going to Obsidian. Did I already have it downloaded? That's funny. Obsidian starts with OBS. All right. I am going to download Obsidian. Download for Windows. I know it's riveting. How's your how are your Mii's doing in Tomodachi? Only for me. Yeah, it's a good place for it. Finish. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, you're buying games on Steam? Steam? Oh, dude, I was thinking of doing that and I was like, no, I told myself I was going to stream. It's like, I want to do the bare bones of like getting this set up right now, and maybe I'll look at some Steam games later. I mean, I'll just real quick, like Steam. Maybe see just like what's being advertised, you know? Just real quick. Oh, I'm logging into yours. Ha. I have not played Steam in forever then. Wow, $61. Maybe I should spend all that. How do I get out of manage account? Change account. There we go. The Steam Summer's still happening for a while, right? We could do that. Sounds good to me. Oh my gosh, stop showing up over there. Oh wow, it's advertising. It's advertising to me what I want to see. Expedition 33 for $40. Helldivers 2. Ooh. Dispatch? I'm supposed to play that, huh? Spider-Man 2 is on sale. Eh, not too shabby, but okay. Let's see. I am going to. This is a fresh Obsidian install. I would like to use this guy's stuff, so let me I guess join his Patreon. Join for free. I will upgrade. Wow, 10,000 members? That's crazy. There's a lot of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. Um, okay, so I'm a member now. What do I do? Start here, Patreon Vault. This post contains the latest released on the Patreon Foundation Vault. Download link is available at the bottom of the post. Video walkthrough. Okay. This post contains the latest release of the Patreon Foundation Vault. Download link is available at the bottom of the post. Video walkthrough. It's right there. The video assumes you have already or will learn how to use it during the tutorials available. Yes, this is not an out-of-the-box solution. It just magically works. It's a demo of what can be achieved that expects you to tinker and tailor it to your own needs. Yep, I understand. Yep. Okay. You should just want me to grab the newest one? Latest update, yes. 2026-04-10. 2026-04-10. I will download that zip. Josh, I'm using your new Patreon vault and I've run into an issue with the create new player template. Blah 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 blah. Interesting. I don't know why it says it keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. I'm starting to get a hang of the vault, but is there a video or article about factions? I can get the faction name listed. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I need to... My chest is hurting. My feet can't fall out of bed. I don't know where to go, so I'll lay here instead. My symptoms of sorrow and dread. Where can I put this? Oh, singing's too good, huh? You know what? I'm just gonna dump it here, you know? Dump it in documents. I don't care. No, I'll give it a name. I'll make a name. New. Okay. D&D Vault. Okay. Moving it into there, opening the vault. I'm gonna extract. Extract here. Boom. 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 Oh, okay, that's it. Okay. I probably didn't need to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna put it in the documents, it's fine. I will. Delete the D&D vault. Okay, let's see. Obsidian TTRPG Vault. That is what I'm opening up with Obsidian. Open. Select folder. Oh my gosh. Here it is. Do I trust the author of this vault? Yes, I'd love to enable the plugins. Let's full size this baby. There it is. Oh, it's importing a bunch of stuff and a bunch of AI. It looks like. Okay. All right. What did he say to do? He said to go to current plugins, check for updates. I'm going to check for updates. Yeah, I'm going to update all of them. I'm so lucky I got like great internet. Buy him a coffee. No, I've already paid you $2.50. Oh, Excalidraws. Oh my gosh. Check for updates again. No plugins found. Okay. Then, oh, what did he do? He went somewhere. Sheesh. Insert Indo sound. Yes. Boom. Okay, tutorials. Start here. Patreon Vault. Okay. And this, okay. If you don't get prompted to enable plugins, then you likely created the vault on the wrong folder. It must be created on the folder that contains the Obsidian folder. It should look like this. Okay, yes. Update existing vaults. There's no simple or easy way to upgrade from one version of a vault to the other. I would only recommend you try this if you are completely comfortable with how the vault works. I would instead draw a line in the sand and start creating new notes with the new templates, and only go backwards if I needed it for a game. Getting started. Once you have your vault up and running, you can use the new templates from the home screen. Simply press the plus button to open it. Is that the first thing you want me to do? I thought you would want me to update plugins. I don't remember where I saw that. I'll go back to the YouTube. Oh, it's up here. O'Reilly.
Left here, I can create.
Oh, no.
But here under the TTRPG category is the ones. All right, it's got plugins installed and it's kind of ready for us to set up. All right, so let's jump in and see how we update this vault. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do when I download this vault is actually come down here to settings. I'm going to come to community plugins and we're going to check for updates. Now, if you're new to Obsidian,
just double checking I did that already. Community plugins, check for updates. No plugins more. Okay, we're good. Next.
This is something we do fairly regularly. All right, I tend to do this once a day when I'm sitting down in front of
bloop, bloop, bloop.
this vault is do that because basically the plugins will be updated to the point where I last saved it.
But outside of that, guys, this is a really excellent community of users.
What?
They support.
Oh, I pressed another button.
You to go through and check that your plugins have been updated. And you can see up in here on the right that everything is updating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then once it's done, it'll pop up and say all of your plugins have now been successfully updated. So do that. The first thing you should do with this vault is do that because basically the plugins will be updated to the point where I last saved this and made it available for you all. So it's always an opportunity for you to come in and check that. Now, while that is happening in the background, another place we need to actually update is under appearance.
Appearance.
So I'm going to go check.
It looks like the appearance is pretty good. I like the appearance. Check for updates. No updates found.
For updates. It's got one update. All right, I've got the ITS theme installed. All right, the ITS theme is designed specifically for the TTRPG crowd. It's got some TTRPG themes built into it, so that's why we use it. All right, we've now updated.
I'm cool with the theme. I don't really need to worry about that.
The theme, we've now updated all the plugins. I will generally come up here to general and check for updates as well, just to see if there's a new version of Obsidian available. I'm in
general. Okay. I mean, I just downloaded it, so there's no reason that.
Side member, which means I pay
just a good
to get
habit.
access to the beta versions. So sometimes I get updates in here that you guys might not get, and I'll need to be careful about not making sure you get copies of those. All right, so outside of that, we now have the plugins updated, the appearance updated, and we've checked the version has been updated. If we scroll down here, we can see these are the plugins that I've got installed for you. All right, you can go through and have a look at that. But the first thing you may want to do is come down here to style settings, expand out the ITS theme settings, all right, and expand out the alternate color schemes. Now I've got it on blue here, and the reason I've got it in blue is because I have a different theme for all of my vaults, and I wanted a way to differentiate it. You can come through here and you can change these around. PG category is the ones on which most people will see. Well, I do really like the Pathfinder one and the Wizards of the Coast Beyond one.
Let me see how I like the other one, actually. We'll do... Where was he? Oh, these are the plugins. Wait. Oh, no. It is? Style settings. Yes. Style settings. Okay. ATS themes. Alternate color schemes. It's a blue. I don't have blue selected. Oh. Oh. Okay. I see. It's pretty cool. It's the default red. Wow. I'm good with standard, I guess. I don't really care.
I use quite often as well. So come through here, pick whichever one you like, and then from there what you can do as well is come back, go to settings and appearance, and you can change to dark mode if you like. I know there's a large number of you who think dark mode is like superior to light mode. I know it's a theory, right? It's your opinion. It's not necessarily accurate. Anyway, let's jump in and let's have a look now. What have we got going on here? If we go back to the files icon, you can see that we've got the vault structure.
Okay. Slow you down.
All right, so what I've done is I've created folders in here for you, all right, so that you can get some ideas on how to actually replicate your vault and manage it. And you can see that I've got sort of some ideas going on.
Oh my
Obsidian
gosh.
TTRPG tutorial is literally here as a readme. It's here to introduce you to the vault and get you some ideas on what you can do with it. Feel free to delete that once you've read through it. You do not need it. Okay, Scratch Notes. Scratch Notes is a folder where I put all the things that I don't really care about. All right, it's very common for me to come along and go, I need a new note to test something, and then I'm going to paste whatever it is that I'm testing into this note. Maybe I'm testing a new stat block, or maybe I'm testing a new plugin. I like to have a folder where I can quickly do things. Something else I might do is I might come along and actually say, I actually need a link to a town, a rule, all right, something that I've used before. And what I'll do is I'll just quickly make a note. Instead of using the search, because I don't really like the search, it brings up too many results, I can use the name to bring that up very quickly, and that generally allows me to have all of that working and functional. All right, so that's where I put those things, and I can delete them, and it just makes me happy that I can do that. All right, you can see I've actually put in a test here, which I don't necessarily need. All right, so that's Scratch Notes. That's obviously easy to use. Below that is the DM Toolkit. Now, the DM Toolkit is a folder where I've put some things that I think are useful that you might be able to use as well, okay? So if we come in here, you can see we've got the DM board. This is actually linked up with some data view, and it's feeding from the party folder, which is a folder where you put your party notes. So you can see that their player names are feeding through, the passive perception, we can set the AC to come through. But you can see I'm also using MetaBind to have some buttons, and the buttons can be used to trigger templates. And I've also got a data view query down here that actually reads all of the player notes and makes a unique list of the known languages that those people in the party know. Need a link to a town, a rule, all right, something that I've used before. And what I'll do is I'll just quickly make a note. Instead of using the search, because I don't really like the search, it brings up too many results, I can use the name to bring that up very quickly, and that generally allows me to have all of that working and functional. All right, so that's where I put those things, and I can delete them, and it just makes me happy that I can do that. All right, you can see I've actually put in a test here, which I don't necessarily need. All right, so that's Scratch Notes. That's obviously easy to use. Below that is the DM Toolkit. Now, the DM Toolkit is a folder where I've put some things that I think are useful that you might be able to use as well, okay? So if we come in here, you can see we've got the DM board. This is actually linked up with some data view, and it's feeding from the party folder, which is a folder where you put your party notes. So you can see that their player names are feeding through, the passive perception, we can set the AC to come through. But you can see I'm also using MetaBind to have some buttons, and the buttons can be used to trigger templates. And I've also got a data view query down here that actually reads all of the player notes and makes a unique list of the known languages that those people in the party know. That's really handy, I find. I don't need to go through 6 sheets and figure out which ones they all know. I just get a unique list. Now, what I've done with this is I've just dragged it over here, okay? Dragged it in, and then I've basically right-clicked and I've pinned this note. Now, the reason why I've done that is if it's pinned, all right, it opens up over here. If it's not pinned, it opens up over here. Now, that's obviously not as useful.
Oh, oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. He, I felt like I was making a risk kind of just jumping into this. Being like, if he hasn't updated anything for the 2024 rule books, but I see here now he has a DM screen based off of the 2024 or 2014 rules, and then he has a separate one for 2024 rules. It's like, and then side screen. Oh man! So all of the conditions and stuff. Oh, oh, I have to import them. Okay, myself. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. they're not automatically. Or it. Okay. We're good.
All right, you don't want the notes over here opening over here usually. So right click pin, and then that will open in the middle. And that means that what you can do is you create these really useful sidebars. Okay, it's like having your own.
Okay, so they do need to be. Got it. Oops, I am making folders and I am not realizing it. Sorry. Okay. This is going to take some time. Oh, there's the home page. Okay, got it. All right.
App or your own plugin that you've enabled over here, and I just like to have all the information. So you can come along, you can basically have data view queries, you can have buttons, you can have all sorts of stuff, and you can see I've got another option here. This one has been customized for D&D 5e, so you can see it's got sort of like,
You know, I would really like to play Peak
this is
today.
my
I've
side
been
view
thinking about that
screen
game a lot.
Now, the links in here are currently broken, okay? This is designed to be used with the CLI tool. Now, if you don't know what the CLI tool is, imagine a world where you can get all of the notes you need for all of the content you own very quickly. Very, very, very quickly.
Yes.
All right. I do recommend that you jump over here to the Obsidian TTRPG tutorial section. And I think, did I put a readme in here somewhere? Oh, I can't remember where I put it. It's probably actually in the CLI folder under mechanics. Here we go. So there's links in the CLI folder to where you can find the process for the CLI. I do recommend that you go ahead and you follow that in order to create all your notes, and probably do it as one of the first things you do. This way you can get all your spells, get all your monsters, bring in adventures if you want, books that you might own. All right, and you can bring it all in and you can test it. Now, I've had a few people reach out and say to me, hey Josh, some of these links aren't working. What I found is that people are using the from field and they're filling in these books here. And you can see I've provided the 3 basic 5e books that are required to make this work. But those are also required down here in the book section because I'm actually linking to some of the book notes instead. All right, and if we come along and we have a look at the DM side screen, all right, we put that into source mode, you can actually see what they're linking to. And this is where it'll start to make a bit more sense. When you download one of the books, you'll see chapter 8 using ability scores. Within that note, there's a heading called dexterity. There's another one called strength, all right? So instead of having unique notes for all of the abilities, I'm linking to sections within that book and I'm bringing that in like that, all right? So it's just a way to have cleaner notes. But yeah, this is all designed to obviously link to the 5e stuff. So, go ahead, follow that process and it should be able to set you up. And assuming that is done, you should literally be able to drop those notes into the folder. Now let's just talk about that quickly. When you run the CLI process, here under 3-mechanics, CLI folder, this is where I've designed for you to drop those notes, okay? You drop those notes in here and this stuff should start working. Now, obviously I've designed this specifically for 5e, given it's the most popular system. But you could do this for any system, guys. Like we've got Pathfinder notes that are available. You just have to basically customize this, all right? And just to show you how you could do that, it's just a note, all right? You can expand this out just like this. You can put this into live preview mode. Have I got that in the? I've got that in the wrong mode. All right, you can put this into we're in source mode currently. You can come in here and you can basically, delete these. You can add links to your own things. All right, so whatever system you add, you can come in here and you can just modify this, and it's relatively easy to use. Same here with the table. It's just a table. Now I'm just going to check this. We're in live preview mode. Yep. I'll come out of source mode. We'll come into live preview mode just so that the new tables works. All right, because obviously you can click in here and you can modify these however you like. All right, so that's the side screen. I do have another version of this, which is obviously the horizontal version. I just want to call out though that I don't use this anymore. I do really prefer the sidebar method, but I've included it in case anyone wants it. All right, next we have a home note. Now the home note actually comes up when you press the plus key. All right, it'll take you straight back to that home. It is designed to be used in reading mode. All right, and you can see here I've got some links up the top that take me to different places of the vault. We've got a lot of data view on this page. So we've got one that's pulling from the players. All right, we've got one that's pulling from the session journals. If we come down here, you can see I've got some recently modified notes. The idea of this being that if you created 10 NPCs before your session, you're actually going to see the last 10 NPCs that you've made in here. So it might be a quick way for you to actually go, oh, I know where the link to that note is, I can find that. I did the same with locations, all right? Chances are, before a session, you're going to modify the last location you're going to be playing in, so that could be useful. Down here, we've just got recently modified notes as well, so that's just a different version of that. And then, I've also included a journey board. For anyone who hasn't seen my journey boards, I like to use Excalidraw over Obsidian Obsidian... it's not even coming to me. Obsidian Canvas. I've done extensive testing, guys. Excalidraw is much quicker. Than Canvas. Much quicker, like visibly quicker. So you can come in here and you can use this. Excalidraw can also be published to your publish sites, by the way. So watch this space. I've got a video on that coming in the near future. And we've got the travel calculator in here. All right. Now the travel calculator is designed for 5e in this version. We do have other versions on the website, so you can come along to. Welcome to Obsidian for Tabletop RPGs. Let's learn how to use the tool. Alright, g'day guys, and welcome tonight to a fresh new Obsidian.md tutorial series. If you've been hearing about Obsidian.md and wondering what it's all about, and you've seen people in the forums and the community boards and the socials talking about this fantastic new free tool that can be used to manage your campaigns, then you are in the right spot. Tonight we're going to kick off a new series, a step through how to use Obsidian as a brand new user and how to set it up and get the absolute most out of it that you can get to make running your games easier. If you are here and you don't know what a TTRPG is, then do not fear. TTRPG stands for Tabletop Role-Playing Game. We're a whole bunch of nerds. We like to roll dice and tell stories, and we use Obsidian.md to basically help manage all our information. But I have found that other users do get value from these videos as well. So, what is Obsidian? A lot of on your character sheets, I have D&D Beyond linked characters. As you can do is stand with that all the time. Because what happens if the internet drops out just as everyone's sitting down at your table, okay? If the internet drops out, and then go ahead and open this. You're not going to see this whole vault is effectively what I want. I'm going to call one. Yep, this should work. There we go. We've got the Obsidian. All right, we've now started here with a fresh, brand spanking new Obsidian vault. Now, I'm just going to click back down here, down the bottom left, to the Open the Vault button, just to see what's actually happened. TTRPG, go ahead. So let's go back here to, and I'm going to open there. Okay, now let's just go through and do this again, and I just want to put a and that is now a title. Now, as you can see, a really popular.
Okay, this is an old tutorial. You know what? There's something in here. The tutorial. Okay, let's start here. This vault is designed as a foundation for people wanting yada yada yada. Modify your needs. This vault does not contain any specific TTRPG content. It does, however, contain instructions to obtain the content. Follow the bouncing ball and you will soon be on your way. The notes often contain hidden comments. If you open the note in source mode, you will find the comments between the percentages. What is source mode? How do I do source mode? A dice tray? I have a dice tray? It rolls it on my screen. I love it. Sorry. Obsidian TTRPG tutorials.com is the home for all my tutorials and templates. This vault is designed as a foundation for people wanting some help on their Obsidian journey. Download the vault from here, which we already have. Extract it onto your PC, and you will need to enable plugins. Update the vault. The vault is basically time-stamped from the last time it was updated. It is good practice to update your vault regularly. I generally do this every time I launch Obsidian. Settings, yes, yada, yada. Change the theme, yep. Templates. I use templates for more than just note templates. I create a lot of note component templates. By this, I mean templates for things that go in a note. For example, I don't know, so let's remember how to make a callout box. Instead, I press T and type callout and pick one I like. There are two different ways to trigger templates. Insert default template. I primarily use these. Insert templater template. This is used to trigger advanced templates. If you're looking in the left bar, there is a COG icon, the top cog icon at the top. At the top with some buttons on the pane. Don't see it, but okay. Those buttons are used to trigger templates. Okay. World building templates need to be configured using the buttons found on the Home tab. Learn more about those templates here. Template design, templates explained, yada yada. The default editing mode can be changed. Live preview mode. This is the default method and what the vault is configured to do. Lots of the newer functionality. I am using this as my default method. These days, this mode lets you both see the rendered notes and the edited at the same time. Gross. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Common questions. How do I obtain how to open folders? getting really complicated really quick.
Welcome to Obsidian for tabletop RPGs. Let's learn how to use the tool. Alright, g'day guys and welcome. I have maps with pins on them, I have mind maps, I have character sheets, I have D&D Beyond linked character sheets, I've got all, which might be the device that you're using right now. Go to this website. Constantly have all of my vaults in the same spot, so we can stick it in here. Now you might not see the .obsidian file, the folder. So let's start with a new note. And you probably see it in there. Yes, it's a sort of like highlighting fonts for you to navigate your information. But what else can we do? The core feature of Obsidian is the ability to link from one note can change. So now we've got in your notes and laying them out, however, is use a bunch of NPC. For any of the non-TTRPG viewers, that's what NPC stands for. It's a non-player character, something that the Dungeon Master controls. And inside of there, we're going to go a new note. I just right-clicked then, and we're going to call this guy Fred. All right. Fred is Bob. On right, like that's a blacksmith. I think I've done it from the wrong ones. I have. I should a note structure for us, just so we can visualize that. Now, some people will find GraphView to be amazingly useful. I personally don't use it. And just to show you why, I might have to wait a few seconds for this to load. Once you go a little bit overboard, GraphView does run rather slowly. So I personally don't find GraphView to be that useful. It's fun to look at. I love coming up a picture. But just to show you what that folder, red, here we're making its own. So, you know, advanced tables plugin. If we come up here to settings, it's the line length. If the answer is picture here, it's rendering. We've got an attachment folder, garden where you want to go. It really is not with this tool. This is an opportunity to go through and explore these new
Austin's. All right. I'm noticing that, like, okay, it'd be cool to look at my DM screen. Oh, okay, here we go. This DM screen is designed to link to the notes created with the CLI process. It's designed for D&D 5e 2014 edition only. Simply complete the process and drop them into your vault, and this screen should come alive. Don't click any links until you complete this, as it will create empty notes with duplicate names. CLI process. Okay. Welcome. See a lot of people reporting broken links with this step. When you run the CLI process, you must include. Drop them into my vault? What does that mean? Oh, crap. Okay. How do I minimize this? There we go. What is a CLI? Let me just look that up. Okay.
Excalibur can also be published to your published site. Let's shut that one down. All right, so the Coast Beyond one I use quite often as well. So come through here, pick whichever one you like, and then from there what you can do as well is come back, go to settings and appearance, and you can change to dark mode. The Coast Beyond one I use quite often as well. So come through here, pick whichever one you like, and then from there what you can do as well is come back, go to settings and appearance, and you can change to dark mode if you like. I know there's a large number of you who think dark mode is like superior to light mode. CLI process here under 3-mechanics. So instead of having, what I found is that people are using the from field. Here we go. Here are currently broken, okay? This is designed to be used with the CLI tool. Now, if you don't know what the CLI tool is, imagine a world where you can get all of the notes you need for all of the content you own very quickly. Very, very, very quickly. All right? I do recommend that you jump over here to the Obsidian TTRPG tutorial section, and I think, did I put a README in here somewhere? Oh, I can't remember where I put it. It's probably actually in the CLI folder under mechanics. Here we go. So there's links in the CLI folder to where you can find the process for the CLI. I do recommend that you go ahead and you follow that in order to create all your notes, and probably do it as one of the first things you do. This way you can get all your spells, get all your monsters, bring in adventures if you want, books that you might own. All right, and you can bring it all in and you can test it. Now, I've had a few people reach out and say to me, hey Josh, some of these links aren't working. What I've found is that people are using the from field and they're filling in these books here. And you can see I've provided the 3 basic 5e books that are required to make this work. But those are also required down here in the book section because I'm actually linking to some of the book notes instead. All right, and if we come along and we have a look at the DM side screen, all right, we put that into source mode, you can actually see what they're linking to. And this is where it'll start to make a bit more sense. Source mode, you can actually DM side screen. All right, we put that into source mode. You can actually see what they're linking to, and this is where it'll start to make a bit more sense. When you download one of the books, you'll see chapter 8 using ability scores. Within that note, there's a heading called Dexterity. There's another one called Strength. All right. So instead of having unique notes for all of the abilities, I'm linking to sections within that book, and I'm bringing that in like that. All right. So it's just a way to have cleaner notes. But yeah, this is all designed to obviously link to the 5e stuff. So go ahead, follow that process, and it should be able to set you up. And assuming that is done, you should literally be able to drop those notes into the folder. Now let's just talk about that quickly. When you run the CLI process, here under 3-mechanics, CLI folder, this is where I've designed for you to drop those notes, okay? You drop those notes in here and this stuff should start working. Now, obviously I've designed this specifically for 5e, given it's the most popular system, but you could do this for any system, guys. Like we've got Pathfinder notes that are available. You just have to basically customize this, all right? And just to show you how you can do that, it's just a note, all right? You can expand this out just like this. You can put this into live preview mode. Have I got that in the, I've got that in the wrong mode. All right, you can put this into, we're in a source mode currently. You can come in here and you can basically, delete these. You can add links to your own things, all right? So whatever system you add, you can come in here and you can just modify this and it's relatively easy to use. Same here with the table, it's just a table.
I am, like, I feel like I'm almost there, but where's the stuff that I just drop in?
Now, I'm just going to check this. We're in live preview mode. Yep. I'll come out of source mode. We'll come into live preview mode just so that the new tables works. All right, so obviously you can click in here and you can modify these however you like. All right, so that's the side screen. I do have another version of this, which is obviously the horizontal version. I just want to call out though that I don't use this anymore. I do really prefer the sidebar method, but I've included it in case anyone wants it. All right, next we have a home.
I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. Okay. Going to go to documents, go down, Obsidian Vault, open that up. Create a folder where the CLI is going to live. I've put mine in, oh, okay. I don't know why I wouldn't put it in, so, CLI. Inside this folder, you need to extract the contents of the zip we downloaded in step 1 above. Oops. Latest release. Find the latest release and scroll down to this section titled Assets. This is a list of files included in this release. Okay. I'll download the one with Windows with the file name. Application that allows you to control Git. Open the file you made above and navigate to the bin folder. Click in the address bar and type CMD and press enter. This will open the command prompt for this location. Oh gosh. Okay. Open the folder you made above and navigate to bin folder. Click in the address bar and type CMD and press enter. This is crazy. Okay. This will open the command prompt from this location. This is an important step as the next process must be run from the folder where you want to download the site. Paste this into the command prompt. You can do this by right-clicking press enter to commence the process. Okay. Wait for the process to complete. Basically, the process is downloading a copy of the 5e tool site onto your machine. Repeat the same process as above, but this time paste the command, this command. This command will download a copy of the images to your machine. This is much larger download and will take quite a bit of time. if you have slow internet. Install the templates. Templates can be used to change the output of a CLI tool. I don't recommend changing these until you get more comfortable with the process. However, if you want to use the Fantasy Stat Block plugin, you will need to change your default template to the one that supports Fantasy Stat Blocks. Export the zip into your bin. Create your config file. Config files are now a requirement for using the CLI tool. Create a new text document in your bin folder and rename it to, yep, okay, sure. Alright, something is downloading. Wow, 3 hours. Right now, everything is downloading. Basically all the information that I would need pertaining to source books in Dungeons and Dragons are downloading into this interface. So basically I should have a functioning DM screen, virtual DM screen. And that'll be the first thing I need. So I'll call it after that. Hopefully it works. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully it works. And the next time I sit down and work on this, I am going to input whatever the next thing I would need. I guess the BC area would be in there. NPCs. All the races for... I don't know what else I would need to import. I guess I could learn how to import D&D Beyond characters. But this is probably the biggest thing I would need to download. So, cross my fingers this works. But in order to figure out how to do this, he claims to have like the easiest tutorial for all this. And in actuality, I'm like totally lost. Okay, now I create a text file, text document. In the text document, I'm going to put all this stuff. I'm not doing anything else to it. I'm going to close out of that, save it, config this, and rename. Sure. Sure. Okay. You can find excellent documentation. Okay, adding the content you own. The content available through this process is documented in the source map. Yes. So if I were to open up that text with okay. It's giving me Lost Mines of Phandelver, Legend of X, I don't know what that is. Player's Handbook 2024, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual and screen. So not gonna worry about that anymore. Okay. So that's if I want to change whatever. Okay. Set the home vault location. So this is where you can define the folder where the LCI will go in your vault. You will set the location in your configuration. So let me copy the notes into this location in your vault. Okay. This is very important. Do it. Okay. And now your bin folder should look like this. Okay, it does. Run the CLI. Navigate to the bin folder. Click the address bar and type CMD and press enter. Type the command below and hit enter. Okay, what is happening? The CLI process is now running. It is converting the site you downloaded above into Markdown format and putting the notes in the new folder called DM. You can tell the process is complete. What is going on here? When the command link prompt displays the folder path again. Okay, well, it didn't do that, so I think I did something wrong. The process is complete with the command. Oh, never mind. It was just taking a while. All done. Okay, you can tell the process is complete with the command link is prompt. Displays the folder path again. Once the process is complete, you can find the files inside the DM folder. You can now copy and paste these into your Obsidian vault. Important, the folder and file must be pasted into your parent vault folder. Do not put them into a subfolder. Do not rename them. Do not move them. If you do not like the location of the note within your vault, you will need to modify the... I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh my gosh. This is so frustrating. Like, because I thought I was done, and now I'm seeing that there's like 50 more steps to do, and I don't know what that means, because it says I'm done. And it says like close out. So I'm going to just close out of this and open it back up. Indexing vault, some functionality will not be available until this is... Okay, that is what it said it needed to do. So, it seems like something's working. I am not going to mess with that. Maybe it's just working now? DM screen? It's working. I don't know how I did it, but it worked. Oh my gosh. So now everything is here. Now I could just go to conditions and I want to look into what charmed is. I just go and I hover over charmed and it gives me the rules. Advantage on ability checks to interact with you socially. The prone condition. This tells you the source and what page it's on. Your only movement options are to crawl or to spend an amount of movement equal to half your speed rounded down to right yourself and thereby end the condition. If your speed is 0, you can't right yourself. Attacks affected, you have disadvantage on attack rolls. An attack roll against you has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of you. Otherwise, that attack roll has disadvantage. Ooh. Thank goodness that worked, because I was ready to just say no to Obsidian altogether. Okay. Let's theoretically say I create... There's still more to do. Still a lot more to do when it comes to like making a map or importing maps that can be interactive and whatnot. I'm still even considering not using this app. Um, Purely because it feels very overwhelming. So I really have to like take to heart the abilities that are like I have time. We're not playing this campaign for maybe another 3 months or so. Like we got plenty of time for me to learn how to use it. I just don't want to like make sure that I really am understanding how this application is working, why what I just did actually connects to what showed up. Very excited. But let's just do like a random note if I'm like able to edit. Seeing how the hyperlinking works. You just type in the word. You don't have to press a special button. Crazy. Okay. Okay. And what I need to do is figure out how to take advantage of all the things that I want to use with this app. So I'm now going to go into a I'm going to clean this up. That is my idea for next time. Let me go to my OBS and switch my scene. Okay. So for next time, when I sit down to work on this, creating a handwritten on here, and what I would like to do with Obsidian. So, stream goal next time. Decide what attributes of Obsidian I want to use. Clean up interface to reflect that. I think what's making some of this overwhelming is like I'm seeing all of these tabs, and it's like these are all the ones that are these are all the tabs that come with it automatically. And it's like technically I don't need this one. I would use the scratch notes, and I would use the DM toolkit for all the information that I need to see on a quick glance. But I'm building a campaign, so I would want information on the party. I would want session journal notes, and I want campaign notes. Probably the world. The mechanics is irrelevant. I don't even need to click on that because that's what informs everything else. I don't even know what this stuff is. So I guess it would be to learn what those things are, and I would like some of this. Maybe there's even ways that I could like hide it so I don't have to see it. There's all these tabs on the side that are also a little concerning. I'm just like, I don't know what it all means, but there's a way for me to just clean some of this stuff up so I don't have to worry about it. Don't have to see it. And kind of just be laser focused on what I want at my disposal every time I open this up. But I think that was the biggest thing I needed to do. Biggest thing I need to do is getting access to all of this stuff. Because now, like, this is crazy. All I have to do is like, okay, I don't even know what I just did. Okay, scratch notes. If I just wanted to edit in here, and it's like, okay, the players took a long rest on the long road towards water deep, and in the middle of the night they were ambushed by I'll say a pact of displacer beasts. All hope was lost until Sildar Hallwinter came to their rescue. And so, Displacer Beasts, all I have to do, I'm in the reading mode, and I hold over in all of the information about Displacer Beasts and all of its abilities. And it's like, okay, it says it has dark vision. It's for 60 feet. I'm like, you know what? What does dark vision actually mean? I hover over that. It says, oh, if you have dark vision, you can see. This is amazing. Not only that, even Sildar Hallwinter's in here. Look at this. It has a portrait of him. That's amazing. It tells you what he's wearing. Chainmail. Like, it has all of the resources I would need. Chainmail. What about half plate? Half plate armor. And if I'm really confused as to what that is, I could just type it out, look at it. Like, oh, okay, that's what it does. Yes, yes, yes. It has a picture of it too. I love this. This is perfect. And then I could even like, okay, there's a new character that's being made or something. I'll look into how I could do that, where it's like, okay, I made a new character. I want to make sure I remember who he is. So I'm going to the home, create new, and then I can click a new player, new journal, and new world elements. I can make a new item. I can make a new person. I just click on new person, give the name of the person, which what was the person that we just made up yesterday? Car Ector. It's like person current location. Oh, and then where it's going to go in all of this. So I could do party. Select the area or place that this person's most commonly found. Oh, I don't know. Oh, sorry. 1-party. Submit. Maybe it can't go there. Where would I put this? Oh, a parent one, I guess. No. One a T. Is that not right? 1-1-party. How do I do this? 1-DM toolkit. Now I'll look into that later. But we're off to a great start. Difficult, frustrating. Oh, people. Oh, maybe I could do that. Just want to try that. Adding a person. Car Hector. Hector. People. Nope. Okay, that didn't work. Select person's parent location. Don't know what that means. Parent location? Waterview? Maybe I need to fulfill other criteria before I can select a home. That's fine. That's fine. All right. That is it. That is me. That is all that I wanted to do today. Okay. I'm happy I did that. I would have given up a lot earlier if I was not streaming. I probably would have gone in maybe 2 hours in and be like, what the heck am I doing? I've already been doing this for 3.5 hours. I don't need to waste my time just trying to get files imported into this thing, but I'm glad I did. Because now that I'm past that first like curve of a learning issue, like I think it's going to be just a little bit easier. Now it's just like, okay, now the program's there. Now let me learn how to use the program. So, it's a lot of preliminary work, and I think I'll have more preliminary work to do, but oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good campaign. Thanks for staying with me, Shay, and watching. Let's play some games. Bye.